Welcome to the conclusion of the lesson, A Letter to God. Now, this story, A Letter to God, as we all know, was written by Gregory Lopez Fuentes. The theme of the story, let us discuss the theme of this story. This story shows us three things. Number one, it shows Lenshow's firm faith in God, the level of his faith in God, and his faith was rewarded. In the story, we see that at the end of the story, we find that his faith in God was rewarded in the form of money, though through the messengers. Who were the messengers here? The post office employees were the messengers of God. So this is the first thing that is proven in this story. The second one is Lenshow's utter innocence, his simplicity, his naivete. He was so naive, unknown to the methods of the world. Such a simple man. How do you know this? We know this from the fact that he started a correspondence with God. Okay, the third point is that sometimes even if you're generous, your generosity will never be recognized. Forget about being recognized. Sometimes it backfires, just like it happened with the post office employees. They were very generous, they were compassionate, they were considerate. In spite of all that, it backfires. How did it backfire? The farmer, Lenshow, calls them a bunch of crooks. He doesn't believe them. He says, in his second letter to God, he says, God, don't send the money through this post office, because the post office employees are a bunch of crooks. Right? So sometimes we may be generous, but we may not get good in return to the good act. This is the theme of the story, A Letter to God. Now, what is the message? What is the message we get from this story? Yes, having a trust in God, in Almighty, can definitely give us hope in dark times, in difficult times. God can be the only hope, just like in case of Lenshow. In his difficult times, only God was his single hope. He didn't look here, he didn't look there for help. He looked straight to God. He says he has only one single hope, God, help from God. So that was his level of faith. So such faith in God might sometimes bring us help. Okay, when we surrender ourselves to God, utter surrender. I am helpless. There's nothing else I can do. I have done what I could do. Now I surrender myself to you. When you surrender yourself to God, definitely you will find a ray of hope, even in the darkest of moments. That was also proven from this story. That is the strongest message we get from this story, A Letter to God. Now, how can you how can you justify the title of the story? What is the title of the story? A Letter to God. You know, as you see the title, A Letter to God, immediately you're intrigued. An interest is created. Because this is very uncommon, isn't it? We don't do this usually. This is very uncommon, unusual, that someone strikes a correspondence with God, someone writes a letter to God, whatever the situation, isn't it? So, an interest is created even before you start to read the story. You understand? And the twist, the storm followed by letter to God, right? And the second letter to God. So it's always, the whole story revolves around the letter to God, isn't it? So the title, A Letter to God, is definitely justified to this story. So when we come to the character sketch of Lensho, we understand Lensho is a very hardworking farmer whose single source of income was his field. Okay, he worked day and night on his field along with his family. His oldest sons also helped him in the field, right? And that was only his source of income. When this source of income was destroyed, he did not go for help to anyone else, to any other human being. The only thing that struck him in his darkest moment was help from God. So he sat down and wrote a letter to God. That was his faith, unshakable faith. Even after writing the letter, very proudly he comes the following Sunday to ask for his letter. And he gets the letter. He is not surprised. That shows how trustworthy he is of God. We also understand he was a little educated because he was able to write his letter, isn't it? So he also showed his utter innocence. So these are the points we need to cover when we write the character sketch of Lensho. One is his faith. Okay, faith not in fellow human beings but in God and God alone. Second one, we can talk about his literacy, that he was a literate person. He could write a letter. Third thing, you can talk about his simplicity, his naivete, his innocence. He was so innocent that he wrote a letter to God. So these are the points you need to cover while writing his character sketch. You could also cover one more point. He was not thankful. He was thankless. You don't see him to be thankful at any point in the story. He has taken God's help for granted. You see that, isn't it? God will help me. He is going to help me. That's it. Okay, he trusted him, but at the same time you see that he has taken God's help for granted. So these are the points you need to cover when you write about the character sketch of Lensho. Moving on to this character sketch of the postmaster. The opening lines about the postmaster tell us that he was a fat, amiable person. He was a friendly person. Okay, easily approachable. That is why the postman, laughing heartily, he approaches the postmaster with the letter written to God by Lensho. So he was an easily approachable person. Okay, he was thoroughly attracted, impressed by Lensho's faith in God. When he saw that someone has written a letter to God, he was totally impressed by the trust, by the faith put in by this person, and he feels that he should keep up this faith in God. And so he decides to help this person. Even after knowing that just a good goodwill, pen and paper is not sufficient. Money is involved in this, monetary. He needed monetary help, isn't it? Lensho needed monetary help. Even after knowing that Lensho needed monetary help, he didn't back off. The postmaster did not back off from this help. He stuck to his resolution. he asked everyone, though he himself could not contribute this amount, he asked everyone, he also contributed a part of his family salary, and he put this money in an envelope. And he did not do this for any reputation or publicity. He just wrote God and put it there. He didn't mention his name. He didn't mention how this money was collected. This shows that he was definitely a kind-hearted person. He was a generous person. He wanted to help others, but not for the sake of publicity. Okay, so he was a wonderful gentleman. And one more thing, it gave him a lot of satisfaction. At the end, we come across a line saying that he was watching Lynch show with the satisfaction of a person who has done a good deed, isn't it? So he feels very satisfied, contented that he had done something good. So this is one more thing we need to write about the postmaster. So what are the points? He was a good person, amiable person, considerate person, compassionate person, a generous person, kind-hearted person. He didn't do this for generosity. Definitely he also had faith in God, but he appreciated the level of Lensho's faith in God. Right? So these are the points that come under the character sketch of the postmaster. With this, we come to an end of lesson 1 of First Flight, that is a letter to God. Thank you all for watching my video. Please do subscribe and share it with your friends so that everyone can be benefited from my videos. Thank you all. Stay connected. We'll move on to the next topic soon. Thank you.